The Green Bay Packers hang on to defeat the Los Angeles Rams 24-19. A little bit of an impromptu live show here with yours truly, Kedrick Stumbris and Noah Clark here on the Scotty Six Pack. Good evening, and thank you for enjoying it with Six Pack. The Scotty Six Pack, the only podcast talking all things Wisconsin sports with you 6 days a week. I'm your host, Kedrick Stumbris. I cover the Wisconsin Badgers for Athlon Sports. You can find me on the website, formerly known as Twitter, at Kedrick Stumbris, and follow the podcast at Scotty Six Pack for the latest. Noah, thanks so much for joining on short notice. I think you were paying a little bit closer attention to the game today than I was, so I wanted to have you in because I'm working very hard trying to wrap stuff up from what has been a really busy week for me. So Noah, how you doing? How's your weekend going?
Going really good. I mean, the Badgers won yesterday, Green Bay won today. Life is good. And it does make up for the Brewers' loss. You know, I will say that it does make up for the Brewers' loss. So
I can't say that I agree that a regular season victory by the Packers and a Badgers win over Purdue makes up for getting eliminated.
Hey, anytime the Packers and Badgers win, it's a big day. You always got to celebrate. That's what I always say. But
considering how few and far between those Wisconsin football wins are these days, I will truly take them any way they can come. And it was a good day. I mean, like those interviews are a lot more fun after big wins than big losses, and being in the McLean Center after the fact, it was just like Tretch Kekahuna was just having a ton of fun. Darian Dupree was very happy to have his role, even if it wasn't like a ton of carries, but just guys in good spirits. It beats what the alternative really would have been. But let's talk about the Green Bay Packers. And Noah, when you're looking at this game, what are your couple big takeaways right off the rip from the 24-19 victory before we dig into the nitty-gritty a little bit more?
Well, I think to start, man, what a incredible gutsy win from Green Bay. It wasn't the bestest of wins, but
no, certainly not.
It wasn't the bestest of wins, but hey, they got the job done. They get the win. I think it's 5 straight now since Matt LaFleur became the coach. He's won 5 straight over Sean McVay.
Yeah, he's never lost to him, I think is what the number is. Yeah.
And Rams fans also can't say that they have not beaten Green Bay at Lambeau Field because they went to LA, they went to SoFi today, and they lost. So, but I do think this was a very sloppy game. I think there's still tons to clean up. I think there's still a lot that needs to be done with this team. And, you know, the Vikings game too, you even look at it from Minnesota, they still got a lot of mistakes. Today, it was another case of that. They need to clean those things up. Moving on to the next game. As my brother's choking on.
Seriously. Hang on.
Oh, no. He's doing it live too. Don't do that. The Brewers already played. You can't still have some left. Oh, goodness.
I somehow just seriously started just choking on nothing live on air. I still kind of got it a little bit. Oh my God.
Well, he's got a Brewers shirt on. That's why.
I know.
He got a Brewers shirt on.
Yeah, not a great move. Hang on.
Oh man. If any
of
you...
my word. Well, I think I am choking because I think I'm getting it instead of what I thought was going to happen to the Packers today.
Yeah.
Quite honestly, when you watch Matt Stafford executing like a potential game-winning drive down the stretch of the fourth quarter, like I should assume he's going to be able to do it for like 2 very big picture reasons. One, because it's Matt Stafford and that's like all he's done for 20 years basically, or whatever the number of years he's been in the league is. And second, I've just seen over the last however many years of the Matt LaFleur era, the Packers just like choke that away at the end with like a Joe Barry soft zone coverage. And instead we saw Jeff Hafley bring like an all-out blitz on 4th down.
Yes.
And it's a risky move, but if the Rams had converted on 4th down there, you would have had at least one other set of downs, most likely, to go after that. It was the risk reward that I think we've been promised to see built into this Jeff Hafley scheme, like really, really come out in this one. And it was a welcome sight. I like, if it wouldn't have worked, I think people would have been a little bit grouchy about it. Particularly, like, I think there could have been lots of folks on the other side being like, your pass rush hasn't been good, right? Like, why are you trying to bring in all out blitz? But I don't know. I liked it. It was a good change of pace, and worked out the right way. So glad to see that. The defense
they're okay.
Yeah,
they're okay.
That's all you're asking it to be.
Yeah, they're okay. I mean, if this was again, I was saying this with my brother because we were watching the game. I said, if this was a game with Joe Barry as the DC, they lose that game. Like, they lose that game because they get they get no pressure. They get no pressure. They just let Stafford kind of just sit back, pick apart that defense. But that was not the case. I mean, like you said it, like, there were so many times today in this game, they brought the blitz, and a lot of times you saw it, especially at the end too, on that fourth down, they got home to Stafford and they were able to force him to make a quicker throw than he usually is. And
yeah,
I got to give credit though to the rookies on the defensive side today. Holy cow, they stepped up. Evan Williams stepped up. Edrin Cooper, big time, stepped up in this game. I mean, you gotta. I give credit. I give credit to Brian Gutekunst for finding these guys in the draft, but I also think what needs to happen as well, they need to see more of the field. I think at this point, I'm almost done with Quay Walker. I think that Edrin Cooper is a better line. Yeah, I think Edrin Cooper is a much better linebacker and can play a lot better when you just need him to go and make a play in terms of rushing the passer as well. And then Evan Williams, like a steal. Like, this was a steal in the 5th round. So, man, I loved what they did today. They stepped up in a big way and they were able to get the win. And Hafley, every week, he finds ways to make me pleasantly surprised with the way that this defense plays, just flying all over the ball and dialing up some different schemes. That's something that Joe Barry would never do.
No, he's just clearly one of these guys that is he's an ideologue when it comes to his defense, right? And in some cases that can work if the ideology can hold, but in other, when you're just more malleable, it just works better. And I think is a testament to what the front office and the defensive staff thinks about the relative athleticism of the folks on the defense. Even if they're not built to necessarily play a certain scheme in particular, they know that they have the athletes out there that can go and make plays. Do they have those athletes in all positions? No, they definitely don't have those athletes at cornerback right now. Eric Stokes seems to be shot.
Oh my God. Yeah.
Yeah. But between like Jair, even if he's lost a little bit of a step, like there's enough with the other defensive backs between, like, even though Keyshawn's not amazing, like, he's serviceable and is still enough of a fast little psycho, and Javon, and of course X, and it's the athletes they have on the defensive line, even if they're not getting home all the time. It's just like there's enough shiny toys here that it feels like they should be able to scheme up a way to hold any team to 21 points.
Yeah. It definitely, there's like the way that, like, from Jeff Hafley's background too, he was a defensive backs coach, so he knows the secondary really well, and he knows what type of stuff he wants to dial up for the secondary. I think you look at the case of it today, Stafford, a lot of times we saw it today. Matthew Stafford didn't really take much for deep shots. It was really kind of dink and dunk over the short 5-yard plays. And that was, I think, all that you really needed to ask for from your team is
No,
just
that's
not
what you have to hold it to, because
yeah.
like I don't want Matt Stafford taking deep shots on my defense, because he can deliver those.
Mm-hmm.
Even though he's a million years old, he can still do it, which is
exactly incredible. And so like you don't want Matthew Stafford kind of doing all that stuff. I mean, you look at it last week too against the Vikings towards, that second half. They kind of adjusted and they really made it to where Minnesota has to go underneath. They're not trying to get too many big plays. Today, that was the same case. And I give credit. I mean, this defense, man, they're good. They're good when they need to be in the biggest of moments. But man, like there's still a lot of growth in this team. Still a lot of growth.
Yeah, I think so too. I think you want more from the linebacking core overall. And I think you're probably just limited by personnel there, unfortunately. I think I really think there is room for growth on the defensive line. I think they still just have guys who need to figure it out a little bit. Lucas Van Ness, just like the sack like late that was he credited for it, or
I thought it was Carl Brooks.
Yeah. But like part of that's just because Lucas Van Ness is just making insane plays off the edge sometimes, and not even just because but just through kind of like brute forcing folks. I think I'd really just like to see him develop like clear pass rush moves, and I think he would be at his best if he were able to be played more effectively in the role that I think we kind of saw for him coming out of the draft, as a guy who can kind of play anywhere on the line and line up anywhere and make that little bit of a havoc. But if he can't stick to certain spots and like stay in his lane, that doesn't work. Let's shift and talk about the offense a little bit. And let's talk about the shiny toy that everyone wants to first, which is Jordan Love. Like maybe a little bit of a weird up and down game, all things considered. 224 on 15 of 26 passing, 8.6 yards per attempt, 2 touchdowns, pick. The pick was dumb. The pick was like the
very Favre-esque right there
thing I have seen in a minute. Was that his worst throw since the divisional round game?
Yeah. Oh, by far. I mean,
he threw some dumb picks last week.
I mean, like also too, like,
but I still think this was dumber than any of those.
He's doing a lot more. There's a lot of things that I think he's doing a lot more that he didn't do last year, which is one, being very careless with the ball. I mean, like, you look at last week, 3 INTs. Today had 1 INT, and it was a bad one.
Week, though, was him like, I think maybe short arming it because he thought he would have been able to put more into his leg.
Yeah, but like that one today was, I mean, bad. And he's been, again, like I say this, he's been pretty careless with the ball, and just even too, like some of the reads like that he's taking are like he's being very aggressive. Mm-hmm. Like there was a couple times we've seen this now where Jaden Reed or Josh Jacobs, you could just go to an easy check down to one of those guys. And instead he likes to look for the deep throw or for the longer ball to like Tucker Kraft, Dontavian Wicks, or whoever. And
I don't know that that's that different than last year. Like,
it was a lot better. It doesn't look as clean though.
I do see what you're getting at. There are times where I wonder with him is he playing more? Does he feel more like he has to make the big play, right?
Yeah.
As opposed to last year. Now that he's gotten paid, now that he did what he did last year, is he playing more like he has to make the big play, considering those circumstances compared to last year when he was going out and just like executing the offense?
And yeah, I mean, like, that's great. Like, but I also think too, like, again, like you said, he just got paid this year. that doesn't mean you have to go out and act like you got paid all this money. You could still make
you got
you
paid
could still
because you executed the hell out of it.
You could still execute just by being you and just by doing what you did last season. Like it to me like does seem like he's forcing a lot of balls that shouldn't be forced. Like the Vikings game, you saw it a lot last week. It was a lot less in this game. And I don't want to say yet it's Favre-esque, but he's getting along the lines of that. He's teetering along the lines of being very Favre-esque and making those risky throws. I mean, like oh my God, the Jaden Reed ball in the first quarter was that
had a little bit of a I don't know, worst case scenario, it's an arm punt to it.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. I mean, he did put it like directly into Jaden Reed's hands.
Oh yeah.
No one else was getting a hand on that ball. So like I am a little bit wary of just not giving Jordan Love the credit there, but I don't know. It could have been something entirely different than what we saw. When they were 0 of 5 on third down. And so he just scampers for 12 yards by himself on the bum knee to get them to 1.
Just really ridiculous. Just really ridiculous stuff. Today, I've been using this a lot more. This is it's goofball-like behavior. Like some stuff is just goofball-like behavior. Like, but what it says on that bottom, I do also think too. He's not healthy. He is not looking like the guy he was last year, and you see
quite
that
100%.
You see that because you see a lot of his throws, Kedrick. Like it's like he's not there. Like the Vikings game, you saw it. He didn't plant and kind of drive that throw. It was kind of more of an arm throw. This game, he did some of that where he could step, plant, and then throw.
Mm-hmm.
But then some of the other times it's an arm throw. And I think it's the same thing last year that he struggled with in this month of October. Struggled with just making the arm throws, putting a lot more touch on the pass. Whereas you need to just set your feet and just drive that, and just drive that ball in. So, and he isn't able to do that because, maybe he's not at full percent. Maybe he doesn't feel confident enough to where he can plan it and drive it. And it's showing. And he's got another week to at least get better, heal up. Maybe we'll start to see some progress with him in terms of throwing. But
yeah. And you hope so, because the offense does need to be a little bit like this was a game that I think the Packers kind of stole a little bit. Like you had fewer yards overall than the Rams. You were 1 of 8 on third down. The Rams were 8 of 16 on third.
Whew.
50% clip on 16 attempts.
Whew.
Yeah, they like the Rams ran 18 more plays than the Packers. Ran 18 more plays than the Packers in this one. Like 76 plays to the Packers 58. I mean, I don't know. Like it feels like they kind of got away with one. Like I said, when they were driving, when the Rams were driving down the field to end the game, I kind of just thought they were gonna finish it there. But I don't know. You force a couple of turnovers. X gave it to you.
X gonna give it to you. What?
It's like you look at it. You look at the box score like this, and when an opponent runs so many more plays than you did, you're thinking maybe they were just going out and like
executing.
Like maybe the Packers were just like dominating time of possession, and but no, they lost time of possession too by 5.5 minutes. Like I don't know how. If you're just like box score watching this game, this is a weird win. Like really, really weird win.
Well, and it also goes back to like the first half too. They didn't have a good first half. They had a very, very bad first half. And this has been the issue I've had with Matt LaFleur.
Get that 10.5 though.
Yeah. But like, this is the issue I've had with Matt LaFleur, and you're gonna hate me on this when I say it, but like, what are we doing with just going all pass and not throwing at least, I don't know, maybe 5 run plays in? Like, the first half, they did not utilize Josh Jacobs at all.
Yeah, I saw,
and that was a big problem.
After he got the score, he carried the ball like one more time.
Yeah, and that was it.
Yeah,
that was it in the first half.
Yeah, no, I don't. Your take is bad if you're saying the Packers need to run the damn ball when they're down 4 touchdowns. Like, then you can't run the damn ball. That's not how math.
Which that was the conversation last week.
Right? Yeah, that's not how math works, Noah. But no, today, yeah, I am surprised that, well, I both agree and don't agree with you, because yes, this Rams defense coming into today was a porous rush defense, but the Packers didn't run the ball particularly well. No. And there were times when Josh Jacobs was running, like when they didn't convert on that last offensive possession of the game, where it just looked like I don't know if he just didn't see a hole there at all or whatever, but it just looked like he was trying to bounce so much outside and was kind of shying away from some contact. And I don't know if that's because he knows he doesn't have a ton behind him besides Emmanuel Wilson. And yeah, like this is certainly not Josh Jacobs slander. This is probably me playing up a couple of carries in my head that I was like,
it's
like
more
they only ran for 4.2 yards per carry today, and they passed the ball for almost 9 yards per attempt, 8.6 yards per attempt. Like, Josh Jacobs only averaged 3.8 yards per carry today. The reason it was 4.2 is because the jet sweep to Jaden Reed. It was like Jaden Reed averaged 9.5 yards per carry on rushing plays. Like, they didn't run the ball particularly well. Again, it just feels like a game that they kind of stole.
They stole it. I mean, but it's a very weird steal when you look at you look at the box score and you think that, man, how did they come away with this win? But like, it's frustrating to me because it's like you bring Josh Jacobs in, and this guy has clearly shown the ability to be a guy that can change can flip the script on the field. And yeah, like, they didn't have a good game, but it also means too, like, you shouldn't stop running the ball. You should also just continue it. I mean, coming into this game, they had the number 2 rush offense too, which baffled me. It's like, you're the number 2 rush offense and you're going up against the worst rush defense in football. How do you not execute there? And how do you not, like, just design more run plays or execute, better run plays for Josh Jacobs and Emmanuel Wilson? Like,
I mean, Jacobs did
make it make
with
sense
with 19 carries. Like, it's not like they didn't feed him the ball. I do, like I said, I do and I don't agree with you. I think he probably should have gotten more first half carries. Absolutely. But it's not like he didn't carry the ball down the stretch. And some of that is because he was carrying the ball down the stretch while they're trying to run out the clock. But like, I don't know. Again, just kind of weird game.
Yeah. What I will say is they not only stole this win, but Green Bay has sucked in October, and this was I'm serious. You look at it; they lost their
I know the numbers are weird.
Yeah, since coming into October, they've lost their last 7 straight in the month of October, and it's not good. So this is a big win for them.
You chalk that up to 2 seasons, right? One season with Aaron Rodgers being butt cheeks
and having a broken hand,
and then the season where like they kind of all fell apart between October, November, and then went nuclear in December.
Yeah. But like, I credit this win because it's
weird seasons,
I credit this win though, because it's a massive win. Because like this moving down the road, like, this could help them in the playoff push.
They needed it. Bears won today. Vikings won today.
Boo.
The NFC North is the only division in football where all 4 teams are over 500.
Let's go.
They needed to win. They
I
needed
told
to
you.
win.
NFC North is a very good division this year.
You told me you're saying this like I disagreed with you early in the year. Like
I'm just telling people.
I was on board. We both picked 3 teams from the NFC North to make the playoffs.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did.
And we're gonna be well, I don't know. Are we gonna be wrong about which 3 teams? I don't know. Like probably.
Minnesota's got a bye, so a lot can change after the bye week. That's all. Remember the last time when they were 5-0 in 2016 and they came out of that bye and they played the Eagles and they got stomped? Like
that's true.
And
I know the Bears played the Panthers today, right? But they won by 26.
They killed
Caleb
the
Williams
Panthers.
Passed for 304 yards.
They pounced on the Panthers.
Is that a franchise record for the Bears? I'm kind of genuinely asking.
It might be.
Let's see. Bears single game passing record. No.
It's not.
Somehow in the year 1962, they passed for 466 yards.
Of course. Wait,
what?
Say that again. 966?
In 466.
Oh.
In the year 1962. That doesn't happen. Was the forward pass allowed?
At that point, it was.
Oh, I guess Caleb Williams did pass for 363 yards against the Colts a couple weeks ago.
Oh, man.
All right. Well, this isn't that fun. We're actually just dummies.
Ooh.
Yeah. But no, I don't. This is gonna be a hard stretch for. This is gonna be a hard season for everybody in the NFC North. I think this is gonna be a tough go. And of course, next week the Packers have the Arizona Cardinals coming to town. Which did Arizona close out that win?
Yeah, they upset. They beat the Niners in Santa Clara today, too. Which means that's
the
pretty
Niners
impressive.
Are under 500.
The
under 500 5 games into the season San Francisco 49ers.
That's kind of wild. But I am not going to complain. Not going to complain at all.
They are 2-3.
And your Seahawks today lost to the Giants. The Seahawks lost to the Giants today.
My Seahawks. Yeah. Many people are asking, is the NFC West the worst division in football? Many people are saying.
Possible. It's very, very possible.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's give Noah, give me your grades for the 3 units on this team today. Give me a grade for the offense.
Offense today, I think, gets a C-. They did some things well in the second half. They capitalized off 2 turnovers to get 2 scores. Tucker Kraft, man, straight up balling out there in that game today.
Brought him up.
No.
Man. Yeah.
Straight up, dude. Like I at the beginning of the draft process last year when they got Luke Musgrave and Tucker Kraft, I was a little bit higher on Musgrave because he had the size and the speed, but dude, Tucker Kraft is a dog. Like that dude is a dog, and he'll serve you up a slice of Kraft cheese when he needs to today. But the offense gets a C-. I don't think they played necessarily that well. Drops were still an issue. They committed fewer penalties today. I think there was only 2 holding calls the entire game today. So that's a positive. The first half, they need to get off the mat. They need to get off running out of the gate with let me rephrase that. They need to run the ball more coming out of the gate. They need to get off to a better start coming out of the gate. So yeah, they get my C grade on the C- on the offensive side.
All right. What about the defense?
Defense today, you're gonna be surprised. They give me a B+. I
don't think I'm totally surprised.
Give me a B+ on that.
They certainly weren't perfect, right?
They weren't perfect, but they got 3 turnovers. They got 3 turnovers. That they got 3 takeaways today. They got a fumble and they got 2 picks. So that's ultimately that is really what you want. One pick. They got 1 pick, which is really what you would want from your defense, is to generate takeaways. They lead the NFL in takeaways, which is really good. And they were able to go out and close the game out with the rookies, Evan Williams and Andrew Cooper. I still think the pass rush, man, there's something going on with that pass rush because since the Titans game, they have not. They just look non-existent, and that's a no bueno on that spot. So give me a B plus to the defense. And Xavier McKinney, that dude keeps on making picks. That dude has been, every time he makes a pick, it's like that signing just gets even better and better and better.
I think it's basically destiny already that he's going to be an all-pro.
Oh yeah.
Like
100%.
I think that's basically signed, sealed, and delivered at this point. Like maybe I mean, certainly injuries holding him out the rest of the year could hurt him. But like, even if he doesn't have another pick all year, folks are going to see the 5 when they're kind of like stat hunting around for who to include. They're not going to remember when those picks were. They're not going to remember they were just all in the first 5 weeks of the season.
Yeah.
Like I don't know. Like he might be just done for an all-pro team already cashed that in.
Oh, 100%. And if he keeps playing like this, may consider him for like defensive player of the year. The way he's playing. So
yeah. What about the special teams? Narvdog 1 for 1 on kicks. Punts weren't like the greatest in the world today. Only 1 placed inside the 20 for Daniel Whelan. In my opinion, like I don't know. I guess I'm also going B on special teams. Like,
yeah.
What about you? I don't even think I can bring myself to the and there's the punt in there with the snap that almost went over his above head. Daniel Whelan's head in the back of the end zone.
Yeah.
So maybe even B is like too high. Like
I give him a
B minus.
I give him a B minus. I think they're, besides the fact Braden Narvison made his kicks today, which was massive for this team. You know, they've been wanting him to make his kicks. They've been kind of waiting to see if he can be able to be the
3 on extra points. One
field goal,
6-yard field goal.
One field goal to end the half. They've been waiting to see if he can deliver. He did a good job today. He didn't, make any mistakes. Punting wise, though, Daniel Whelan did struggle. A lot of short punts. The last drive, the last drive of the game, like they gave Stafford really good field position to start, and Whelan, kind of put the punt in the 40 of Rams territory, which is not ideal, and he was punting from like the 15 or so. So not ideal. I don't have too many gripes or too many complaints. I think the special teams, they did their job. They did their job today. They did what was asked of them, but I feel like they could have done a lot more. So they get a B minus from me.
Matt LaFleur said in his post-game presser, by the way, that he is looking forward to his conversation tomorrow with Romeo Doubs. Fully anticipates him coming back, hopeful that he'll come back and get ready to work. So
I'm still wondering. We've had this conversation too. I'm still wondering what the heck is going on with that.
Let's have it on air. I haven't had it. I have been running around too much this past week to properly address this on air. I don't know. I after everything that we've seen with Aaron Rodgers over the last like 5 years or so, I am fully like checked out from takes that are like, oh, I wouldn't expect that from that guy. That's not who he is. We don't know these people. Professional athletes are psychos. Like, and I mean that in the kindest way possible, right? Like they are truly. Like you have to be so ferociously dedicated to your craft that it inherently does something to your mind, and like it means that I will not be able to comprehend how you think about life and basically anything in it ever. Like maybe he is. I truly, for his sake, I hope it is as simple as him being frustrated with the offense. I hope it is. I hope it is that and nothing worse.
Yeah, me too. I mean, like it does. I mean, it does make you concerned. Like, I mean, maybe there's more to this, but like, it also could be, hey, maybe he is frustrated. Maybe he is frustrated with the offense. I mean, you talk about a guy too. I mean, it just doesn't make sense though. A guy who's getting a lot of the targets thrown his way from Jordan Love is complaining about the offense. It's just like,
Yeah, but a guy who won back-to-back MVPs also complained about the offense. So
yeah, but he was also a grumpy old man, and so.
But that's my point, right? Is like we don't know these people,
right?
We don't know these people. We don't know how they tick. Like,
I mean, like, I think he will be back with the team. I think it's one of those things. Yeah, maybe he is frustrated. You know, I think a lot of Packers fans, I think, would probably overthink it and try and dive in deeper. And then there are some Packers fans who are like, maybe he is frustrated because he's not getting playing time.
Yeah. I don't worth it's really I don't know that it's totally worth the mountain of speculation that it has caused. I think it's just
they got a week. Because they got the Cardinals coming up, and that's going to be very interesting. I don't know how they're going to contain Kyler Murray. That's going to be interesting. Yeah. Kyler Murray, dude, today he was on one. He was.
Maybe I'll have to have Ryan on the show this week. Now that I'm thinking about it, Ryan Eilers.
Should
talk Cardinals. All right.
Oh, wait, that's a bird. That was a bird. Sorry. Tweet. Because a cardinal's a bird, it's not a hawk.
All right. Noah, would you like to tell the guide people where to find more of you and maybe bird sounds?
The bird sounds provided by you. So, which on our show, you can find us on our show at Snap the Pigskin. You can find us on YouTube at www.youtube.com/snapthepigskin. And you can also follow me on Twitter at Clark Rigo as well. I got it right this time. So I didn't mess up. It's also too, I got my phone in my hand trying to remember it. And then you can also listen to the student section Tuesdays 6 to 7. Me, Anthony, Joey, Chrissy talk sports for about an hour on 91.7 WSUM or WSUM.org.
Wonderful for those of you attuned to what I'm up to these days. One, you can go find my subscribers notebook, scotty6pack.substack.com. Lots and lots and lots of really good notes from coaches' interviews at Big Ten Media Days, talking with Fran McCaffrey and Fred Hoiberg. Good notes in there about how he feels about Connor Essegian, for example. Other exclusive one-on-one interviews that I got with John Blackwell and Stephen Crowell and Max Klesmet. Great stuff. Up on the subscribers feed at scotty6pack.substack.com these days. And more to come tomorrow when I'll be at Local Media Day for the Wisconsin Badgers men's basketball team tomorrow morning. And then Tuesday will be jam-packed between hockey availability and football player interviews before I'll probably be in Madison this weekend for the women's hockey series against Duluth. Big series.
Big game.
Top 5 series.
Big series.
Duluth lost to Colgate in game 2 this weekend.
They lost the toothpaste. Boo.
They did lose to toothpaste.
Not good.
But the Badgers stay undefeated, clobbering Boston College, like a not bad Boston College team. 2 days in a row. So we'll see. This will be their first real test, I think, this weekend against Duluth. And if they just score 1 million goals against Duluth, this might just be their destiny, is just say we're just going to outscore everybody and see what
kind of like Ohio State last year. Ohio State just did the same thing. They're like, we're going to outscore everybody. We're going to outskate everybody. Hey, that's Badger women's hockey for you. This is what Badger women's hockey is all about.
Yeah. But if you're not just a sicko for women's college hockey, there's going to be a lot of basketball content coming up this week. A lot of college football content coming up this week.
Did you say fire guard at least? Because
no, I did not go to conference media days and say fire guard. No,
I'll give you $5 if you say it. I'll give you $5 if you say it. Just
storm the Big Ten Network studio stages and shout fire guard.
Yeah.
No. No.
I'll even make a shirt for you. Then you don't have to you didn't have to say it.
Some of us are professionals. No.
Very true. Very true.
All right. That's going to do it here on the Scotty Six Pack podcast. Thank you again to Noah Clark for joining on the only show talking all things Wisconsin sports at just 6 days a week. My name is Kedrick Stumbris. You can follow me on the website, formerly known as Twitter, at Kedrick Stumbris. I cover the Wisconsin Badgers for Athlon Sports and the Scotty Six Pack. Until we talk to you all again very soon, go Pack Go.